Hello and welcome to the Business as Unusual show. It is in fact Friday, and yes, it is the bank holiday in case you're wondering, but we have absolutely nothing better to do despite the fact it looks amazing outside. And just to show you, I've got some new kind of tech. I've added the garden cam as well. So that's what I'm looking forward to going into once I finish this. I committed to the show. And now I'm kind of slightly regretting it. But the good news is I do have an awesome guest, my best mate, Anthony Klokkou, business partner, MD of Sleeping Giant Media. So we're going to ask him some questions, get an update of how things are going after this introduction. So for those of you who are new to the channel, my name is Luke. I'm the CEO of Sleeping Giant Media and Giant Campus. We are a digital marketing agency focusing on getting relevant traffic to our clients' websites. And we're pushing out loads of content, hopefully really helpful to local businesses and generally businesses around all the things they could and should be doing in this kind of mad time that we live in, and all the things that they need to look at doing next. So please do subscribe to LinkedIn or any of our social channels, because you can find out more information as and when we're pushing this one out. So as I said, today I have my best friend and business partner, Anthony Klokkou. So let's introduce him now. Anthony, how are you doing, sir?
Hey, I'm good, thanks, mate. I'm good. I was looking forward to getting out of the garden.
I was going to say, I thought you might be in the garden right now.
I know. I just don't have the tech set up for the garden.
Yeah. The last episode we did, we were both of us kind of outside, and it was all on Google Hangouts. And now I've kind of upped my tech game, which means I'm now kind of stuck right here. But you could have been outside. Why not?
Yeah, maybe I should. I'm feeling like it's a fail right now. I feel like it's a fail, but it's all good. I'm looking forward to getting outside after this. Yeah, maybe a bit of barbecue. Let's see.
Very nice. Well, thank you for sacrificing your 4:30 and on Friday afternoon for a quick chat. What sort of changed? Obviously, we spoke before. I think it was probably, I don't even know how time seems to kind of fly by now. But was it like a month ago? Was it 3 weeks ago?
Yeah, it was last bank holiday, wasn't it? It was the Easter bank holiday weekend.
It was indeed. What's changed within the business as well? So obviously, what sort of things have we as a business kind of gone through since that kind of last conversation we had?
A lot. A lot in summary, it feels like, but all very quickly as well. So I think kind of client side, lots of kind of changing strategies, pivoting all the time, reacting to kind of data and trends and insights. Lots of kind of development of our own thought leadership content as well, which you've been driving massively. I think that's a kind of big change. The shift from focusing on kind of sales to building relationships. That's been a kind of a challenge, but made sense. And actually, it feels like the balance is starting to shift, maybe. Although I don't want to speak too soon. We've definitely seen something.
We've got Sunday coming up as well, which is potentially kind of a bit of a game changer as well for like the news in terms of how that might change the outlook for a lot of businesses, I guess.
Yeah, totally. I'm looking forward to it. I feel like it could be kind of polarizing. Could go either way, but. Yeah, hopefully some kind of even just a little bit of good news, will help bring back some confidence. So yeah, fingers crossed for that. Looking forward to it.
What sort of stuff was going on? Because obviously I think we talked about kind of like furloughing, and we had to put a number of our guys on furlough. What's the kind of situation? What's the update there?
Well, actually, we've brought 2 guys back from furlough, or will be. So as of Monday, both Sean and Alex, part of our commercial and brand and marketing teams, are coming back from furlough, which I'm really, really excited about. Super excited to be able to be considering about bringing people back from furlough. It's fantastic. So yeah, really, really keen to kind of get that moving and make that happen as of Monday.
And just that, I mean, this is a totally loaded question because I know the answer to it, but like, why have we picked those two out of interest?
So right now, the restart up mentality that we're talking about, it's all about kind of building new relationships. It's about growing kind of our audience, our reach, and being there to support businesses kind of when they need us. And so, it kind of makes sense to be investing in marketing. We've been saying it to our clients, we should be doing it ourselves, and we have been. And it feels like now is the right time to kind of, again, ramp up that investment in terms of kind of resources and in this case people. And delighted to be having Sean and Alex back into the delivery side of the business. Really, really exciting.
Awesome. And also we've got chat going as well, guys. So if you've got any questions for Ant, do chuck them in. I can see Holly is on the chat. So hi Holly, hi Amber, hi Danny. Thanks for tuning in. I think everyone's cycling. It looks like based on the chat. They kind of. I don't think they're watching. They're just basically talking about cycling at this point in time. But if you do have anything you want us to discuss, do please put that in chat and we'll be happily able to talk about that. What are the challenges of bringing some of the guys back? So obviously, we've put a group of people on furlough, and now we're looking to try to obviously bring 2 of the guys back. But what do you think the main challenges will be for people coming back into the business? And I guess this hopefully will be applicable to a lot of businesses as well.
Yeah, I think there's three parts. There's firstly the financial impact on a business, so you've got to kind of consider that. We've done our own maths and planning and forecasting, so comfortable with that. Once you kind of move past that, there's I think the personal impact on those that have been furloughed, kind of coming back to a degree to something on one hand to something they know really well, but on the other hand to a kind of complete unknown. What's changed, and
what has changed? I mean, out of interest, what are those? What are the sort of the key messages that we're sort of saying to people? Actually, these are the sorts of things that might change.
It's the rate that at the moment it's ironically the rate of change in the business. So we're kind of changing, and particularly across the business. Actually, I say particularly, but across the business, whether it's for our clients, whether it's our own marketing, our own sales activity, the rate of change right now is kind of incredibly fast, much more than it ever has been before. Lots of communication. High touch kind of across the business really, and I think that is something that, again, it's not that we were slow to move before, but I think feels like we've achieved a kind of another level, and I think that's going to take a bit getting used to, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. How can we take those sorts of things forward, do you think? So I know this is these are kind of particularly kind of unusual times that we're kind of facing, which has brought out kind of innovation. It's brought out that speed. Is it something that is even possible to sustain, do you think? Do you think it's, or is there a kind of we can all do this for a while before we absolutely kind of frazzle? What do you think we can carry some of this forward?
That's a good question. I think what we're doing right now is probably not sustainable. In terms of running in a business with not full capacity yet, delivering more than we've ever delivered before. So, I think that level isn't. But I think there's without a doubt middle ground. So, as you know, because you're a big part of it. Yesterday, we did our kind of new world planning session, or started our new world planning session with the senior team. And we were talking about what are the wins, what are the things that we're doing that are working really well, and that's that kind of mentality of learn from the experience and take forward the things that work is really key. So I think getting the senior teams involved in what are the learnings and what can we carry forward, and then we've got to drive it and make sure we kind of change and we don't just kind of fall back into a comfortable groove that we may have been in. But I do think there's a middle ground for sure.
Yeah. I mean, what's so obviously taking from the content that we put together yesterday, so we've worked on sort of 3 questions around that kind of new world planning. So what are the behavioural changes? So what behaviours of your customers will change? What's the impact on your business? And what are the opportunities from? And those are the 3 questions we've been talking about a lot, and we've been sort of sharing with our teams as well. What came from yesterday? What are the sort of some of those nuggets that actually you're like, yeah, that's a really interesting thing that we should carry forward? Yeah.
I mean, client side for me was the discussion around the role we play as an agency, right now moving forward. And it feels like we're more of a partner to our clients than we ever have been before. And actually, if you'd asked me, 3 months ago, I would have said we are great partners to our clients. But I've seen a whole nother level to that, the way in which we're adapting strategies. We're kind of talking at a business level with all of our clients. Again, we were doing that before, but it seems to be a whole nother level where we understand what's going on inside of businesses that are facing challenges and adapting to it. So I think the way in which we're going to partner with our clients will change. More consultative approach at a business level. I think that's something that we were again already doing, but doing it to a whole nother level,
Yeah.
and even more forward looking than before as well. What are the insights, because user behavior has changed so dramatically kind of over the last 4 to 6 weeks. Again, it all sounds like stuff that we were doing before, and we were to a point, but it's just taken things to another level. And I think the way the teams have adapted to allow that to happen and to make that happen, and the things that they're reporting on now compared to what we were reporting on before, is something that we're certainly carrying forward. Particularly the kind of the thought leadership that we're sharing across the business, the ideas, the way they are kind of being rolled out across kind of every client. So where one client has a win, every client benefits.
Yeah.
Again, it's tightened up every process across the business. I think that's a real win.
Nice.
And just probably flexibility, the other one.
Flexibility. Sorry.
Flexibility for our team, flexibility for our people, and how we've kind of made that work. Kind of quite excited about how we take that forward into the kind of new world.
Interesting. There is a question from chat. How has it been personally as a business owner during this, and what tolls does it take?
That's a good question. That's a good question. It has been.
How's your sleep going? Been sleeping as well as you were before?
Yeah, it's fun. That's a good question. So physically, there's definitely been a toll. So I feel I'm excited right now. I feel excited and determined. I think there's so much opportunity, but I feel really tired. And I've generally been a good sleeper up until the last kind of week or so. But I think there's a few factors involved there. I've been a good sleeper, but I think it's not resting enough. I think always working at 110% kind of your capacity, has an impact on you regardless. So kind of that's been tough. I think initially it was scary, but between you and I, and then our senior team, we were pretty quick to recognise that, reset our expectations, and trying to achieve what we had set out at the beginning of the year, this year, realistically isn't going to be possible. So don't keep measuring yourself against that.
Yeah.
Now measure yourself against the new situation that we're in, and actually I think we're dealing with that really well. So I have to say the toll has been, there is a kind of physical impact, but the mental impact I think we've kind of dealt with really, really well. And I'm actually quite excited about not only what we've done, but what we're going to be doing next. So I feel good. In summary, I feel good about it. I feel tired, but I feel good.
Nice, good to hear. There's a comment from Amy. Good to thanks for tuning in, Amy. Good to see you tuning in, and hope everything's okay with you. She says that I feel as horrible as it is, it's brought business owners even closer together, and I hope that continues afterwards. And I think that's a great kind of sentiment. And I mean, the conversations you've been having with people as well. How do you kind of feel it's changed the kind of the relationship that you've had with our team, but also with the people that you were speaking to within your kind of normal networks? How has those relationships kind of changed because of this?
I think more open, more honest. I mean, I'm really, really fortunate and grateful to be, in business with my best mate. I think that's quite a rare situation to be in. But for a lot of people, they don't necessarily have that, and it can be quite lonely. And so so what I've seen is more people sharing, more people being open, even within industries. Same industry, technically on paper we're competitors, but there's enough business out there for everybody, and it's all about supporting each other in times like this. So yeah, I think there's that kind of open, honest, recognizing that we're all kind of human, and within reason, there's not really any bad guys out there. So generally, it's it's okay to share, and I've definitely felt that, particularly for the networks I'm involved in.
Yeah, absolutely. Is there anyone who you've seen kind of out there doing some really good stuff in terms of other businesses that you're like, actually they're doing some really, really kind of cool content that we can shout out?
I think Braysher's Law, actually they're producing some awesome kind of content, great advice. And if you think about the things that are changing at the moment, in terms of HR kind of law and employment law, they're right at the kind of center of it, and they are just sharing so much great advice. Which you might say is kind of uncommon for lawyers to be kind of doing.
It's something we talk about. It is. Yeah, no, it is something that we talk about. It's the challenge of. I guess it's those businesses that they've based themselves on kind of IP, and it's like that kind of. The fear of giving that away, then someone goes and does it themselves, I guess.
Yeah, totally. But I think again they're an incredibly successful brand, and obviously are confident in kind of what they do, and they can do it better. But they are sharing some amazing content. I think that's been fantastic to see.
Yeah, Dan, I can see you in chat as well. Good to thanks for tuning in again, and I'm hoping, my friend, you have a beer in your hand at this point, and you're in the garden. As again, just to kind of let me just quickly show you. This is where I'm going in just a minute. So back to the garden when I can, and when I finish this chat. So what's kind of next for us as a business then? And what do we do kind of next? How do we kind of navigate the changes? I mean, obviously Sunday could change things, but I mean, because we've obviously spent sort of time planning. I mean, how do we kind of navigate the next couple of months?
So we really early on put together a solid financial forecast, and our decision's been based around that, and then that kind of gets adapted as kind of things progress and we know more. But really kind of stick to our kind of 4 key kind of pillars really, and that is for client services, it's all our clients. It's all about helping them adapt and get them as quickly as possible into the recovery phase and with a restart up mindset. So where are the opportunities? And the guys are focusing really heavy on that move forward. In terms of brand marketing and our commercial activity, it's continually trying to support the kind of the audiences out there, build new relationships, kind of share knowledge, and then kind of from the people point of view, it's keep supporting our giants. It's a real challenge. I think we are now 6-7 weeks into kind of lockdown, and the toll is starting to kind of have an impact on people. So I think we call it our people function, but the HR function within any organisation is kind of really critical. But that burden kind of has to be shared across the whole organisation. We need to be supporting each other. So that focus on support is key. And then the fourth part really is kind of about finance, and that's partly forecasting, but also trying to get money into the business, super key. And that isn't as easy as it was, because every business is in a similar situation. So it's actually about working constructively with clients to find payment plans that work, to kind of make sure everybody's understanding of each other's situations and communication. And that's a big focus of finance.
What is on the finance conversation? I've had a few chats with people, and again there was a question around like how hard do you chase people kind of during this kind of situation. What's your kind of view on that? How do you strike the balance between needing the money in from a business perspective, but at the same time trying to be understanding as well?
So my view on this is that if people are talking to us, to our finance team, and communicating, then we'll do as much as we possibly can to kind of make it work. It's to the point of we've agreed kind of some quite a bit of flexibility in some cases, but it's got to be based on our feel that it's kind of a genuine need. For anybody that I feel is trying their luck, maybe playing the system, I think that's unfair, and I think you have to push hard. Yeah, it's kind of in summary, it's my view. I think in this situation where because as a business we have bills to pay, we have a team to kind of keep and salaries to pay. Again, it goes back to that point about openness and kind of honesty. As long as we're communicating, I think there's usually a middle ground that you can find. But at the same time, if people aren't communicating and they're perhaps trying to take advantage of a situation, then I think you should push hard. Fortunately for us, we've got some great relationships with our clients. So it's not such an issue. But that's kind of my view, really.
Nice. Right, guys, we are going to take a short pause where we're going to check out the digital news roundup for this week, and then we'll come back and ask Ant some more questions. So if you do have any questions for Ant, please do chuck them in the chat, and we'll see you just after this short message. 5, 1, go.
Welcome to this week's digital news roundup.
You're only supposed to blow the bloody doors off! Doors off!
You don't want to do whatever you're doing? What is it precisely that you are doing? Say what? Of Giant Wednesday.
So that is our digital news roundup for the week, and there's a question in chat which we'll come back to in just a second. But on those kind of storylines, any of those kind of jump out that you want to kind of expand on, and any kind of like I think there's one around the kind of the Google core algorithm update that's potentially not a huge amount of details at this point, but just it could be an interesting one.
Yeah, totally. It's like, we weren't busy enough with Google making a core algorithm update. It's like, yes, when we didn't have too much else to kind of get focused on. But no, that's part of SEO and part of what we do. So yeah, Google announced a core algo update that was early this week. I think it was talked about on the 4th, May the 4th. So should have been named after something Star Wars related, if you ask me, but it wasn't. It was just labelled as the May 2020 core algorithm update, which is not particularly exciting. Totally boring. I mean, we see some big shifts in terms of rankings, both positive and negative, and which you would expect with a kind of core update. So we are currently going through the process of trying to compile all of that data across all industries that we work across, so we can get a feel for specifically what's been what's been affected, but it generally likely to be kind of content relevancy related. So yeah, kind of exciting time, because there's opportunity. With change comes opportunity. So yeah, really exciting. I read an article related to this that mentioned Google talking about the core algorithm update, but also specifically around the kind of search trends they're seeing right now about COVID-19. I should know that by now.
Yeah, I think it's in the news at the moment. You might want to watch like any news channel right now.
Is that the one? Okay, cool. I thought so. It's just me. Ironically, Google is saying it's the single most unifying search term they've ever seen. Although I maybe got it wrong, but yeah, kind of internationally, incredible to see, and never seen that before. So yeah, just kind of reinforces that global kind of impact that it's having. But yeah, so kind of core algo update, quite exciting. Looking forward to putting the data across all of our industries, because we're quite fortunate to be able to take that view and start to pull apart what do we think has been impacted in terms of sector most significantly, but likely to be content relevancy led. But yeah, as I say, keeps us busy, but that's ultimately why we're here and what we do.
Absolutely. What's your thoughts on, so one of the statistics, and I do refer to this as my favorite statistic, which is there's 6,000 completely unique, never seen before search terms entered into Google every 60 seconds, which is mind blowing for me. I find that insane to think that we're constantly thinking of new things to search for. What's your thoughts about how this situation has kind of evolved and changed that statistic?
I mean, realistically, I think it's, if nothing else, it's likely to have accelerated it. If you put aside the specific COVID search, because that's kind of unified everybody's search habits, we're kind of we're being forced to think about life in a different way at the moment. Whether it's what can we do.
That's the kids in the garden. Apologies. They're screaming. They're having a whale of a time right now.
We'll be there. Well, you'll be there. Oh yeah, you'll be there soon. Don't worry. You're good. I'll be outside of my garden.
Nice.
Yeah, I think that realistically we're changing the way we're searching, because what we're looking for is different, and the challenges we're facing are different, which is a really exciting thing for businesses right now, because you can maybe get away from the really competitive terms that you were reliant upon and start looking at what are the new questions and queries that people are asking given their change in circumstances and their probable change in behaviours. So actually there's maybe an opportunity there for businesses to almost level the playing field a little bit when it comes to SEO, which is quite exciting. That.
And just a question now, jumping back into chat. So does this change the long-term plan for the business, or is this a case of a new path with the same goal? So what's the sort of the impact of this sort of? I mean, we had long-term plans. Has this changed that, or how are we kind of trying to address that?
I think the long-term plan remains the same, and we've been talking about this with our team recently. Our last company catch-up, we reinforced that our 10-year goal is still our 10-year goal, but I think the path will change, and I think that that might inevitably have an impact on the long-term goal. But right now, I don't see it. I see that our goal still stands, but we've got some really exciting kind of short-term goals and objectives. We were talking last week about
the BHAGs. Can you explain a BHAG, please? What is it?
A big, hairy, audacious goal, and we spend a lot of time talking about sustainability and how do we get through, and that's really important. And it is important we're thinking about that, and what do we do next, and where are the opportunities, and the financial forecast, and how we're performing against that. That's great. But they're not necessarily the most exciting things to be talking about. So the BHAGs, the big three that we've committed to our team last week on Friday, it was Friday, wasn't it? Where BHAG number one is make sure we have a summer party, although it may be a cold summer party at 2 meter intervals.
or in the middle of winter.
It could be in the middle of the winter, yeah. But post when it's safe to do so,
Yeah.
we're going to have an epic summer party. We just want to get focused on something fun that we can do
Yeah.
as a team, because we're massively missing being close physically, as opposed to being spread around the country and even Europe with some of our guys. So looking forward to that. Step BHAG number 2 is that we will pay back. So at the moment, everybody working in Sleeping Giant Media has taken a pay cut, and we're going to pay that money back. We don't quite know when, because we need to make sure there is, business sustainability is kind of considered. But when we can, we will be paying that money back. And I was quite excited to kind of commit to that to the team, because people are working serious hours right now to make things work, make things happen. So yeah, I think that was a real goal. And then the third one, and we were planning on doing another SGM holiday. Anyone who knows as well knew that we took the team to Ibiza the year before last, yeah. And we were going to do one this year, but it was going to be kind of like part paid for by SGM, part paid for by everybody else. But actually, again, once it's sensible to do so financially, we're going to be taking the team away to celebrate, what we think will be, an epic kind of restart out of the current situation. So I'm kind of really excited about that, and I think that's a great thing for us to be focusing on. 3 kind of solid goals that maybe are a little bit more inspiring than beating our financial forecast as much as those.
It seems to be positively received as well. We've had a bit of feedback, haven't we, generally saying that it's kind of like something nice to kind of aim for.
Exactly, yeah, something nice to aim for, something positive. So looking forward to it. So yeah, so the original question, I think the long-term goal is the same, the path will be different, but I also think that's a positive thing. We're learning a lot right now, and I can't wait to kind of implement it over the next 6, 12, 18 months.
Nice. Thank you very much for that, Amy. She says, really awesome commitment, guys. Thanks very much. Appreciate that. And a question from Holly as well, which is, do you think this is going to change the way businesses work together? Do you think that face-to-face meetings will be more replaced by video conferencing?
I think certainly short term, yes. Certainly in the kind of short to medium term, as we kind of move into a recovery phase, and there's still unknowns around the world in terms of COVID specifically. I think long term, I don't think it will stop face-to-face meetings. I think there's definitely opportunity for them, but I think just the acceptance of what we're doing right now, speaking digitally, and how effective it can be, will inevitably lead to kind of more of that. So yeah, I do think there'll be a change. I think that'll be a good change, but I don't think it will. My gut feel is once we feel safe, it won't completely wipe out face-to-face meetings, and there are lots of good reasons to kind of meet, face-to-face as well.
Maybe even more people. Like I was chatting to somebody today in America, in fact. So someone I met on LinkedIn, and he was sort of saying that he was like, I have a list of people who I would normally meet in face to face, and some would be kind of digital. He's like, I'm not going to meet my lawyer again face to face. Like, there's no need, and so it's almost like he's moving people from one list to another, which I thought was quite an interesting kind of perspective. That we don't need to meet everybody face to face.
No, definitely not. No, it makes good sense. I also like the idea of you go to a meeting and you do meet the team, but actually you dial in a number of your team members that couldn't make it. And I feel like before that wouldn't be okay, but right now that could. Or I say right now you wouldn't do it, but maybe in 12 months, I think it would just open up loads more flexibility to actually facilitate more communication, more opportunities to talk. So I think it'd be a good thing.
Absolutely, and I think it's there's another question coming in. When we get back to the office, how much of the stuff in your background will I return? I'm assuming actually it's both of us. We've kind of both ransacked the office, haven't we? To build, I can see some cushions, and I think there's a comment about your background's getting more and more professional each time, and it's
Cheers, guys. Yeah.
Well, this is my parents' bedroom, so I have to move out of it at some point. So they're going to come back at some point when they are able to fly, because they are currently stuck abroad. So at some point when they can fly back, they will return to a new look bedroom where the bed doesn't exist and the wall is now purple. So good times for them. Right, mate, we have 2 minutes left, and I want to try to see if I can run this game, because every time it fails. Can you see my screen if this works?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yes. Right.
It didn't work last time. Let's do it. Come on.
I'm gonna do animals because they're a little bit easier. And just let me explain what's up for grabs here, people. So we are now running a competition. We try to run this when technology doesn't fail us, which is most times. And you can stand to win a limited edition SGM mug. And yes, Ant can still potentially win that. Are you excited? Have you got a mug? Have you got one of these mugs?
Lucy hasn't.
Lucy has. Okay, good. Phew. Okay, so there is something up for grabs. Okay, explain to me. I think you've only got to beat 2. Liam's was 2. I think I have a leaderboard somewhere, and my buttons disappeared. But I think you've only got to beat 2. So let's see what we can do. Okay, you ready?
Yeah. It's long, it slivers, and it has a tongue, and it bites.
Snake.
Yes, that's it. It's small, it can change colours, it jumps around a little bit, it's quite cute looking, it's a lizard.
Chameleon? Gecko.
Yes, that's it.
You're in the lead already. Go. Keep going. Let's do this. Come on.
King of the jungle, but in the water.
King of the jungle, but in the water?
Yeah, so what's the king of the jungle?
Lion.
Yeah, but...
Sea lion.
Yes.
Good work. Go.
You're one of these.
A hero. No. What am I?
Well, you're not a monkey. You're not a... What? You are a...
Human?
Yes.
That could have gone so wrong.
Okay, if you're diving, you don't want to see one of these. They're pretty aggressive, might tear your leg off, and it's got a head
Shark.
that looks the shape of a
Hammerhead.
tall...
Hammerhead shark.
Yes, that's the one. Oh,
Mate, we nailed that. There was a really dangerous one. You're one of these that could have gone anywhere. I was like, what is that? So we got 5, everybody. You can see this here, 5. Impressive. So if no one can beat that, Lucy is going to get herself a limited edition SGM mug. Yes, a hero. I went for it, Amy. I'm sorry, I went for it. I didn't know where he was going to go with it. I thought it was going to be abusive, so I went with that. So that is it from today, guys. I hope everybody is enjoying a bank holiday weekend. Thank you very much for your time, and I'll let you get back to the garden, and no doubt catch up with you again at some point very soon, I'm sure.
Cool. Take care.
Thank you very much. Right, so guys, we are done for today. We are back again on Wednesday. So on Wednesday we have Jenny Kitchen from Yo-Yo, who will be joining us at 4:30 on Wednesday. So we're going to catch up with her and find out how the challenges that she's been facing, and also kind of what she's been doing with her team and all the kind of clients that they've been working with. So if you enjoyed today, please do subscribe or follow us on various social channels, and hopefully we shall see you on Wednesday, and we'll be back again also next Friday chatting with Adam from Belmont Sandbanks as well. So thanks very much for listening. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and good luck with the opportunities that you face.